This is the man who pulled off a minor miracle at Nissan, and they fired him for it. Nissan's illegal surveillance of its COO that it just fired has to make you seriously question what this company is willing to do. Did they, in fact, commit these same illegal actions against Carlos Ghosn that they've just repeated themselves on committing against their now soon-to-be former COO? About a month after, Nissan's debt got downgraded to junk, meaning it's much harder for Nissan to get loans in order to revamp itself into an EV car company. Now, yeah, you might be thinking they already are, but they make the Nissan Leaf and the Nissan Ariya, but what is it? 2% of Nissan sales worldwide are electric. 98% of their company doesn't produce EVs. Well, this year that's been blasting Nissan sales in China. And Nissan sales in China are pretty damn important considering China is Nissan's biggest car market. Its biggest sales location, and it's not even close. But that will probably change soon considering the fact it's already lost 40% of its sales this year and their sales continue to slide. Nissan pretty much only has one car now selling in decent numbers in China, and it's a sedan. It's not electric, it's a sedan. How long do you think that's going to last for? Yeah. Well, not long after this happened, Nissan's COO was fired. I think those two events are pretty directly correlated. Ever since Carlos Ghosn absconded from Nissan, jumped into a musical suitcase to try and escape the Japanese law, which are, to be honest, incredibly corrupt. Ever since that happened, Nissan has gone to poo. Sorry, but it's just a reality. Now, there's a lot of people I know who love Nissan, love them. But your feelings are not really that important when it comes to telling the truth. Here is the truth of Nissan. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sam Evans, and I'm the Electric Viking. Now, it's always necessary for me to say thank you so much. Every video, if I remember to do so, I will, because I'm very, very grateful to all of you for your contributions to my wife's cancer campaign to try to prevent the disease from, obviously taking her life. So she's got stage 4 cancer, colorectal cancer, and so that's why we've been in Thailand. Now, if you want to know more about that, I'll put a link in the description to the GoFundMe page we created. Nissan Motor Company are bracing for more management upheaval with the departure of COO Ashwani Gupta, the executive who spearheaded the company's revitalization plan, but was sometimes at odds with the carmaker's CEO, its board, and its alliance partner Renault. At odds with them. Why was he at odds with them? Why would he need to be? Gupta once tipped as a future chief executive of Japan's third largest automaker, will leave Nissan effective the 27th of June, a week from today, to pursue other opportunities, the company said in a 16th of June statement. Now, if you've seen the documentary on Netflix around the upheaval that went on with Carlos Ghosn and Nissan, well, you would have been tricked into thinking some utter nonsense about Nissan, because Nissan is a joke. When it comes to Nissan's hierarchy, its management board, it's like levels of bureaucracy and baloney you've never seen before. If you want to work at that company, goodness me, I'd honestly rather I'd rather clean a street. I'd rather be a street sweeper or something like that. Honestly, that place is a joke. And that is one of the key reasons why Nissan is a mess. When I say Nissan is a mess, it's lost money for 3 years in a row, mounted up its debts. Yeah, last year it made a profit, but the truth is this company is basically screwed with a capital S. Gupta became COO of Nissan in December of 2019, amid unprecedented turmoil at the company following the arrest and firing of longtime CEO and chairman Carlos Ghosn the previous year. Now, what do you think of Carlos Ghosn? I've read hundreds of pages on the investigation that went on at Nissan. And I intended making a video on it, but it was so complex and convoluted and challenging that I never actually did it because, honestly, it would have taken so much time. And I wasn't sure that people were really that interested. But if you are interested, let me know. My take from doing that work and that research, which was probably more research that I put into anything else I've ever looked at over the last 5 years is that actually Carlos Ghosn wasn't that guilty. He was guilty of some things, but not what the company said he was guilty of, and not what Japan planned on putting him in jail for. But let me know what you think in the comments. Gupta led a fitful recovery plan. He was basically the architect. As Nissan's sales profit and share price plunged in the wake of Ghosn's ouster, and amid unraveling relations with Renault, he was a lone bright spot. While Gupta managed to stabilise profitability, don't know how he did that, but he did, global sales volume remains far below that seen during the Carlos Ghosn era. While deliveries were hurt partly by the double whammy of the COVID-19 pandemic and the global semiconductor shortage, slow rollouts of new nameplates such as the Aria all-electric crossover or its rechristened Z sports car dented overall momentum. And the reality here, the truth is that many of Nissan's cars are just extremely old. I mean, have a look at the Nissan Patrol. People say, oh, the Tesla Model 3, it's dated, or the Tesla Model S, it's dated. Goodness me, these people, what are they comparing it to? I mean, holy smokes. Look at the interior of a Nissan Patrol. It looks like it was made in 1947. I can't believe it when I hear these kinds of comments, and I think, what part of the auto market are you looking at? I mean, are you looking at all of it? Or are you looking at just a minuscule percentage in order to make your bizarre, arbitrary comparisons that hold no water when compared to half of the industry? Gah. Anyway, don't get me started on that. The point here is that if you look at Nissan's cars, most of them are very old, very dated. The company has been losing sales and market share now for 6 straight years. While deliveries were hurt partly by the double whammy of COVID, the truth is, this is a company on the decline. Nissan's stock still languishes nearly 50% below its price before Ghosn's arrest. Toyota Motor Corporation's, by contrast, has soared an incredible 70% in the same time frame, even though, in my opinion, it's a basket case of a company. That said, I should admit, they did just disclose the fact they're going to be using Tesla gigacasting for their future EVs, so that was a good decision. Gupta's departure follows that of the global head of the Infiniti premium brand in March. Payman Karga returned to Renault in France and was replaced this month by Jose Roman. Automotive News says that Gupta 52 was seen internally as sometimes butting heads with CEO Makoto Ukeda, who's 56, over his ambition to succeed Ukeda. Hierarchy in Japan. There is not a country on the face of the earth that has the same kind of archaic, bizarre, hierarchical rules that Japan has. I have not met a single human being in my lifetime who would disagree with that statement who has actually worked in Japan. I don't think that this man who was just fired was saying, no, I want your job. I think he was saying, these are the decisions we need to make to resurrect this company. And the CEO didn't like it. Felt like his toes were touched in a way he didn't enjoy. Felt like his feelings were hurt. Felt like he was losing face publicly. That is the real issue, losing face. What some insiders describe as a veiled rivalry between the two became more apparent over the past year as Nissan negotiated with Renault about rebalancing the cross-shareholdings in the long-standing alliance and investing in Renault's planned spin-offs. Gupta made it very clear from early his target was to be number one, said one person close to Nissan's management. We couldn't have that. He has been very transparent about this, but he completed the recovery's plans. But that said, he completed the recovery plan's financial targets, and we headed into a new era with a new midterm plan. Basically, the company has admitted to the fact that they're only making a profit today because of him, and now they have his plans. He can go away. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. In May, Gupta was dropped from the Nissan board when the company announced its new director candidates. Also dismissed was Masakazu Toyoda, a former Japanese government bureaucrat who was seen by outsiders as a Nissan nationalist dragging his feet on cooperation with Renault. Some Nissan leaders wanted to solidify support around Ukeda for swifter action on the new Renault plan, the person close to management said. Clearing house of Toyota, in particular, was seen as one way to sharpen management's focus on Ukeda's agenda of quickly rebalancing ties with Renault while taking a stake in the French company's planned spin-off of its electric vehicle business, a venture called Ampere. Talks on those issues were once envisioned, says Automotive News, as being completed before the end of 2022. But that didn't happen. A basic agreement was announced only in February, and finalised details of the new investment plans are still being negotiated on. Ukita has said Nissan needs to move faster and shake up business as usual, as some inside the alliance grow frustrated with the slow pace of change. You can say that about all of the Japanese automotive industry. Slow pace of change. Adding another layer, though, of intrigue to this entire story is that the Financial Times reported that Gupta's departure comes after the director heading Nissan's audit committee fielded multiple internal complaints against the COO. Does this sound a little bit like Carlos Ghosn's story to you? It seems as though the company does things the same way. History repeats itself. The newspaper also reported that Ukita and the director put Gupta under surveillance. They illegally surveilled him, even in his home, for months in an attempt to collect information that could be used against him. Two people familiar with the matter confirmed that various allegations and concerns were raised. They did not provide details about their substance. In a statement, Nissan said, independent third parties have been retained to verify facts and carry on appropriate actions. Hence, we cannot make any further comments on this issue. Basically, what Nissan did is they surveilled the guy to try and find anything they could on him to use against him or to manufacture against him. And then when he agreed to simply leaving without causing a fuss, they decided, it's okay. We don't need any of that now. He's off. He's gone. This is disgraceful that Nissan have done this now. Again, history is repeating itself. If you didn't believe Carlos Ghosn's comments before, maybe it's time to consider that they could have had some truth to them, some veracity, because Nissan has just done exactly the same thing to another person who offended its feelings. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.